President Trump promises to protect America by closing the southern border. Not open for business. And we've got a funny montage that another source put together of the media, the godless, degenerate media. It's actually funny. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance. Welcome to the program, friend. I have been watching the news since the Mueller investigation was released and nothing was turned up, no collusion at all. And I've been watching the mainstream media in different clips, listening to different clips, and their utter refusal to let go of this and just admit that they were wrong, it shows something to you and I. And when I want you to see and hear this clip I'm about to play, but also to then recognize that there's something that you and I can actually do. Something that we can do so that we undermine their credibility for years to come. Because unfortunately, that's where we are. We're literally at the place where we must undermine the credibility, laugh at them, mock them, vilify them, the people who are in the vast majority of the secular press, from the New York Times and the Washington Post in print through the three major networks and CNN and MSNBC. Fox is doing really well, but there's trouble on the horizon. We'll get to that in another minute. So what I want to do is I want to play this clip for you. Get ready for a couple of laughs. And we thank the people who put this together. This is not original, but it's funny. So we are going to watch this, and then here's one thing that I want you to listen for. The repetition of phrases in a certain month. Now, what this shows you is stupidity and that they're actors. They're literally taking the Democrat Party talking points. And what's the newest line that we're going to use? Is it the word bombshell? Is it some other phrase? And you're going to see a whole bunch of them up there. The beginning of the end. People going off in handcuffs. They are fed these talking points, and then like useful knaves, they're little parrots, and they parrot these lines, and they want to say it with great drama and great interest and great authority. And they sit there like they're gods among us who give us this data that we're just ready to believe and absorb. But they're lying. They're actually, so what you're about to see is a montage of flat out lies that have been foisted on tens of millions of Americans. Sometimes night after night after night. So get ready for a laugh and also maybe just be sick to your stomach.
Donald Trump's done. He's done. There's no question about that. He's done.
Breaking news.
A bombshell.
Today is a turning point. Today was historically bad for President Trump.
Today was a turning point.
A turning point.
We're at a turning point here.
The beginning of the end for the Trump presidency.
The beginning of the end.
And breaking news.
We have another bombshell.
Mike Pence might have to assume the office of the presidency.
The call for impeachment.
Rumblings of the word impeachment.
Breaking news.
Another bombshell out of the White House.
I believe this is the beginning of the end.
I do too.
It's really the beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end.
He may be feeling the walls closing in on him.
All the walls closing in on him.
The walls closing in on him.
Breaking news, a new bombshell.
One astrologer says this means the beginning of the end for President Donald Trump.
The beginning of the end of the Trump presidency.
Trump will resign.
Trump is going to resign.
Is this the tipping point? I know we've said it over and over.
You think this is a tipping point?
And over and over.
This is a tipping point.
And over and over.
Breaking news, President Trump off the rails.
It was the beginning of the end today.
The beginning of the end.
It reminds me a lot of the last days of Nixon.
Breaking news tonight, new bombshell.
This is the beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end.
The walls are closing in.
The walls closing in.
The walls closing in.
Breaking overnight bombshell.
This is a very dramatic day, and I think it might be near a tipping point. Do you think this is a tipping point?
This is unbelievable. This is remarkable. Have you ever seen anything like this?
His presidency is crippled.
December 1st, 2017, you can mark it down. This is the day that everything changed.
We begin with the bombshell.
The beginning of the end?
The beginning of the end.
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 The beginning of the end. In fact, if this were a football game, we're in the third quarter. May even be the beginning of the end.
We begin tonight with the bombshell. Donald Trump is in a lot of trouble.
Trump is in trouble.
The president will resign.
Another hour, another bombshell.
This is a tipping point.
Trump's going down.
This president could be impeached.
I do not think the president will serve out his term. Resignation. Resignation. I don't think this president is going to serve out his term. Mr. Trump will not serve out his term. He will not serve out his term. No way. No how.
Breaking news.
Absolute bombshell.
I think Donald Trump is in trouble.
Donald Trump is not. He's done. And it's over.
It's over.
The wall's closing in.
The wall's closing in.
This is going to be the Achilles heel.
Breaking news tonight.
I expect Trump to depart.
This week will be the watershed week.
Trump is in big trouble.
Trump's in a lot of trouble.
It's a sign of a terrified old man who feels the
Walls
Closing in.
The walls
are increasingly
Closing in on him.
Tonight, the walls
are closing in.
Today changed everything. This is the beginning
of the end.
today, the biggest
Tipping point for the Trump administration.
What a historic day. The bombshells, they fell.
It's entropy and it's crumbling internally.
He's underwater. He feels
The wall's closing in.
Could his testimony be a turning point?
We may be at a tipping point.
It's the beginning of
The end.
The beginning.
of the end.
Another bombshell.
Bombshell. Bombshell.
Bombshell.
Bombshell.
Bombshell.
Bombshell.
Bombshell.
this is a bombshell.
It is a bombshell.
I am beginning to resent the word bombshell.
All right. This is the drivel. And now drivel's too kind of word. This is the poison that these liars said. And you saw the clock going. This has been going on for 2 years. 2 years, people. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about what we can do. And I want to talk about something that we can't do. All right? And I'll focus on Adam Schiff, Congressman Schiff, who is just an evil man. He's one of the evil guys who knows that he's evil, but he's so committed to evil that he's going to keep right on going in it. Please don't go away. What you can do and what you want to not waste your time doing. I'll be right back. Introducing Roxy Guitar. If you're a guitar or bass player, whether you play acoustic or electric, check out Roxy Guitar. I've been playing for over 40 years and seen guitar stores all over America. I've never seen a store like Roxy Guitar. Roxy Guitar has over 700 guitars in stock, over 1,500 pedals, over 200 amps. For the beginner or price-conscious buyer, there's Michael Kelly guitars. For the serious player or professional, Roxy Guitar has the finest selection of guitar lines I've ever seen. You know I love Warrior guitars. Roxy Guitar has over 100 Warriors in stock. They have Heritage, G&L, Gretsch, John Sears, BC Rich, Duesenberg, Dean, legendary guitars at great prices, including pre-owned Gibsons, Fenders, and more. Let them know you heard about Roxy Guitar from Randall Terry and receive 10% or more off your purchase on select items. Go to roxyguitar.com. All right, here's the man. You've seen him on TV many times. So President Trump has been exonerated, and they are still going to go forward. He still would like to see impeachment. He says one day, yeah, we'd like to look at impeachment. And then another day says, well, the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, doesn't want to do it, so it's not on the table. He flip-flops back and forth. But they're getting ready to subpoena thousands and thousands of documents and to call Reince Priebus, who is the president's former chief of staff, Steve Bannon. They're going to subpoena him. They're going to subpoena Hope Hicks. For what? For what? This is harassment. But I digress. Put up that thing. Click here now. All right, this is what you don't do. Ads like this are on the internet. They're popping up all over the place. So, do you think that Schiff should resign or be driven out of office or any number of questions? Click here to vote. Do you know what the mechanism is for? All right, back to me. You know what that's for? It's to raise money. That poll will never leave the office of the people that are doing it. They spent money. Here's how this works. They spent money. They had to buy advertising space on whatever website it is. Catholic website, an evangelical website, a news website, Breitbart, whatever. And this didn't come from Breitbart, by the way. But a salesman reaches out to XYZ organization, ministry, political group, whatever, and says, hey, how would you like to buy ad space on our webpage? And you have to pay us X dollars. And then they do the math and they say, okay, if we get so many clicks per 100,000 views, because people see it without clicking it. If we get so many clicks per 100,000 views, then it becomes worth our while. Well, what are they after? They're after your name and your email address. That's it. Then they can sell it. Then they can sell your information, or they can send you fundraising letters into your inbox, and statistically, you're going to open 1 or 2 or 5 of them. And then statistically, a certain number of people who have given them their name and their email address are going to respond with a gift. Okay? That's all this is about. It's called donor acquisition. Say those words with me, class. Donor acquisition. Now, back when I used to do this, I've done this. I did it with U.S. mail, snail mail, paper, stuff you get in the mail. So you go and you rent lists. You rent the names and addresses of people who have financially given to XYZ ministry. So XYZ ministry is renting their names to a broker, and ABC ministry, that's me, says, oh, I've heard of these guys. Those donors are probably pretty radical. They're probably pretty good people. I'm going to rent that list, say for 15 cents a name, and I'm going to mail to them. And if I can just get 1.5% or 2% response, I'm close to breaking even. If I get 1% response, let's say I mail to 5,000 people, and I get 1% response, that's 50 names. Well, if the average gift was $30, that's $1,500. The mailing might have cost me $4,000. So I just lost $2,500. Oh, but wait, I have 50 names. And those names, the names of those people, those donors, if they believe in what I'm doing, they will give on an average of once or twice a year, and it'll average out to between $80 and $100 per year per person. So suddenly that $1,500 received, the 50 people who gave me $1,500 and I lost from my original investment, suddenly I'm not losing money anymore because those people are going to give me repeated gifts. And now in the long run, that becomes a source of revenue, not a loss. It's called donor acquisition. That's the way it works. And a part of donor acquisition in the U.S. mail and online, especially online now, are gimmicks and tricks just to get you to give your name and your email address and or your U.S. mail address. That's it. They're not fighting. They're not using your name to fight. They're using your money to raise money. Now, some of them are fighting. Some of them are using money that they get to lobby or to fund candidates. And God bless those that really do it. But there are almost countless numbers of ministries and organizations that are just churning out these types of things to get people to give them their name and address so that they can send them fundraising letters. And that's it. It's called donor acquisition. That is it. We do not rent our list. We have not rented a list or offered a list for rent for at least 10 or 12 years. And the last time I did it, it was a part of a deal. I'm telling you this is sort of like a confession. It's been at least 10 years since we said, since I turned over the names of our donors. I refused to do it. I finally realized, look, people gave us money because they believe in what we're doing. They did not do it so that we would rent this list to other people. And I regret doing it in the past when I have done it. We haven't rented a list in years. I don't even know the last time we did that, because I started to get a sick feeling in my stomach. Like this, we're not a money-raising industry. We're not a money-raising business. We're here to fight evil. If you believe in what we're doing and you want to fight evil alongside of us, by funding us, or I'm just going to tell you straight up, send us money and we're going to do this. I'm not going to make you empty promises about a poll or about a checklist. Do you believe in this? Do you believe in that? Then please send us money or else we're not going to be able to go and fight for blah, blah. We're not doing that. I think that it's disingenuous. Sometimes I think it's dishonest. But what I'm more interested in doing than just getting you to give us money is training you how to fight. And that's what I'm going to talk about in the next break. All right, this was about what to not do. If you're vexed about Adam Schiff and about Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, these godless fools, these enemies, if you're nervous about them, you should be. But the way to vent your frustration or your worry or your anger or your righteous indignation is not to click on a thing that says, click here if you think blah, blah, blah. That's not the way to do it. I'm going to tell you a couple things you can do when we come back. So if you want to be a part of the Church Militant, I've got some suggestions. Don't go away.
I also want to speak tonight directly to Muslims throughout the world. We respect your faith. Its teachings are good and peaceful. And those who commit evil in the name of Allah blaspheme the name of Allah.
We have reaffirmed again and again that the United States is not and never will be at war with Islam. Islam teaches peace.
Islam is a religion of peace. They are not Muslims, they are monsters.
We've been told that Muslim terrorists have hijacked the peaceful religion of Islam. But Islamic art and literature tell a very different story. To know the truth, we only have to study the narrative of the founder of Islam, Muhammad, in his own words. Welcome back, friend. There is nothing new under the sun. Nothing. Now, I'm going to make a suggestion that for some of you is going to sound crazy. For some of you, you're going to go, all right, I'll do that. All right, what can you do to fight evil so that evil is pushed back and defeated, or at least put in the sidelines, and righteousness prevails? What can you do? Ready? Pray. Oh, Randall, I don't want. No, listen to me. Get alone and pray, God, put ideas in my head of what I could do. And then be open. Now here's why I'm saying this. There's nothing new under the sun. If you were to look over a 35-year history of my activism, making international headlines, okay? I've traveled all 50 states, 28 countries, been interviewed on 6 of the 7 continents, either in person on the ground or through representatives that have flown here, including being in Australia, being in Hong Kong. If you looked at my name, looked at news, you would see mountains of records of things that I've done and said and gotten in the news. Being a part of a fight to push back evil, trying to save Terry Schiavo or Nancy Cruzan way before Terry Schiavo. There's just so much out there. But what I'm happy to tell you is I don't think that I've ever had an original idea on activism. I mean, I don't want to shortchange myself. Maybe there's been 1 or 2 things in there that I did. I don't know. But I get alone with God and I pray. And then I'll see a picture. I'll see Martin Luther King and the civil rights activists trying to cross the Edmund Pettus Bridge. I'll see people holding signs. I'll see people getting arrested. I'll see somebody being hung in effigy or whipped in effigy or tarred and feathered in effigy. Because I read books on history, and I read books on social revolution, things that were said and that were done, like to end child labor, or it's just fill in the blank, women's voting rights, whatever. And I think and I pray, and when I feel like God is saying to do something, there'll be like the Hillary bus. I don't remember anyone ever doing anything like that. No, that's not true. I did it in 1992. Impeach Clinton. We had a 45-foot motor coach, and we had huge banners that said Impeach Clinton. We drove it city to city, got tons of press coverage. It was 94 that I did that. I remember being in the prayer meeting where we came up with it. 6 or 7 of us men on our knees begging God, God, show us what to do. And I had a picture of us. One of the guys owned a motor coach, and I said, we could go city to city holding rallies and have a sign that says, Impeach Clinton. And we did it. So fast forward to 2016, when I did the Hillary bus, nothing new. We just bought a bus, put the wraps on it. It is a sin to vote for Hillary, and off we went. In other words, there are so many things that you can do, but the question is, are you willing? I'll be right back. What Would Mohammed Do? Islamic Terrorism Explained is the best movie series documentary ever produced on the life of Muhammad and Islam. How do I know? Because it's what critics are saying. John Moore, radio host and author, said, I learned more from What Would Mohammed Do about Islam and Islamic terrorism than I've learned from everything I ever read and watched in my entire life. Best-selling author Dr. Bill Warner said, What Would Mohammed Do is the best movie series, TV production on the life of Muhammad and Islamic terrorism that has ever been produced. Friends, this is what the experts are saying. No one has ever done what we've done. I encourage you to get 1, 2, 4 copies. Call 304-289-3700. That's 304-289-3700, or order it at the address or the website that you see on the screen. Introducing Roxy Guitar. If you're a guitar or bass player, whether you play acoustic or electric, check out Roxy Guitar. I've been playing for over 40 years and seen guitar stores all over America. I've never seen a store like Roxy Guitar. Roxy Guitar has over 700 guitars in stock, over 1,500 pedals, over 200 amps. For the beginner or price-conscious buyer, there's Michael Kelly guitars. For the serious player or professional, Roxy Guitar has the finest selection of guitar lines I've ever seen. You know I love Warrior guitars. Roxy Guitar has over 100 Warriors in stock. They have Heritage, G&L, Gretsch, John Sears, BC Rich, Duesenberg, Dean, legendary guitars at great prices, including pre-owned Gibsons, Fenders, and more. Let them know you heard about Roxy Guitar from Randall Terry and receive 10% or more off your purchase on select items. Go to roxyguitar.com. All right, President Trump has said that he's going to shut the border if Mexico and the Central American countries don't get their act together and stop this influx of literally hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants, most of whom are not seeking asylum. They're not legitimate asylum cases. So here's the question. Are you willing, just on this one point, the border, or on partial birth abortion, or on now abortion up to the day of birth in New Mexico and Vermont and New York and other states lining up, are you willing to do or to say something publicly that puts you on the fringes of or in the middle of conflict? See, we're the Church Militant, and by definition, that means that we're attacking the gates of hell. Jesus said, I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. Storming the gates, that's us. But it's not a requirement. I mean, one of the big problems in the Christian community is the preoccupation with orthodoxy instead of orthopraxy. You could go to 100 different Bible studies on faith and what it means to be justified by faith. What type of faith do we need to have when we're in prayer? What type of faith do we need to have for prosperity or for healing or for direction? Any numbers of things, all right? You can go faith, 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 faith. But when's the last time you went to a conference or even heard about one where it said faith without works is dead? That's what you need to ask. God, what do you want me to do? I don't care what theological hobby horse you ride on, even if it's something very important to you. My theology is very important to me. The question is, what will you do? Babies are dying. Militant homosexuals are overrunning the country. The left-wing media is poisoning tens of millions of Americans. What will you do? Go to our website. Learn more of what you can do. Support us financially. I'll be talking to you soon.